Hello, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm your host, Sam Capizzi, here at Cryptosomniac to bring you everything cryptocurrency related, where the markets never sleep and neither do we. Today is January 2nd, 2018. Welcome back. For everyone that has been chilling and took the time off, this might be a lot of my viewers' first video they see in some time, as a lot of people have been, I'm sure took off the past several days. Let's wait. Is there anyone live on YouTube with me? Looks like, did I go private by accident, or do we have people in the chat on there as well? And let me open up the chat. So there it is. I'm early today. I stream at all different times. Today maybe a little bit early. Looks like I am live. So what's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to 2018. This is cryptocurrency, the year of the dog in China, apparently. Could it be the year of the Dogecoin? Could it be? Hopefully not. Anyway, today is January 2nd. What's going on, everyone? So what's up, Shane? Let's give people a second or two to join here. I'll try to answer questions as we go live. Check out my interview with B. I think B is a great ICO, set to launch January 31st. One of the few. I don't get into many ICOs, but this one will be one that I am getting into. We'll go over some charts and stuff. Tonight we're going to talk about taxes. A great article. And in fact, click the link in the description of this video below to get the tax document that I will refer to. You'll check it out. Snaze gets back in a day or two. Not sure exactly when. What else? What else do I need to cover here? Ooh, by the way, this will be the last shot. So the last video I did the B token video yesterday. It was an interview, but I had recorded that a few days ago. But my video that I released on Sunday, Sunday, about the top 10 cryptos medium risk fund. Give that a share over on Facebook for a chance to win 5 minutes of FaceTime with me. Other than that, let's get into the tax document and into the presentation. So I think you guys will really like this, and there's a link. You can get it from twitter.com/cryptosomniac, or you can go to facebook.com/cryptosomniac. The link's there, or it should be in the description of this YouTube video, I believe. But this video right here that's live, cryptosomniac.com/taxes, you'll get the tax document that our team has written. And you'll find it really beneficial. But what I did is, if you don't like to read, we put it together in a PowerPoint, so you don't have to worry about reading. Just listen. We'll cover everything that we need to. We'll try to answer questions at the same time. In a PowerPoint, so you don't have to worry. We'll try to do what we do here every night. So first things first, the IRS has decided to treat Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as property as opposed to currency, and that has a number of implications on the asset, crypto, and Bitcoin. And what that means is, and by the way, this video is going to be geared primarily for U.S. citizens. This is very difficult. The tax laws are very different in every country, so it would be extremely impossible to cover taxation on every country. So definitely consult with your tax advisor, your own tax accountant. But this is not investment advice. I am not a tax accountant. I'm not a CPA. But we did spend a lot of time researching all the tax law and everything that someone from the U.S. should need to know. And I'm sure some of the rules are similar in other countries, to be honest. But the IRS has decided to treat Bitcoin as a property rather than a currency, which is unfortunate because that comes with a slew of rules that are not very favorable. First off, that means everyone is an investor. That doesn't matter if you're a consumer, you're a merchant, you're a short-term investor, a long-term investor, any way that you transact the crypto or Bitcoin, you are seen as an investor, which is what that means. When you treat it as a property rather than a currency, a whole slew of tax laws comes into play. So it doesn't matter whether you're a merchant, a customer, an exchange, it doesn't really matter. So everyone is seen as an investor. So that's first things first. And again, this is mostly pertinent to U.S. investors and what so forth. Be sure to check out the guide that supplements this video. Moving on, being that this is seen as a property and not a currency, that means capital gains taxes do apply. and they differ from long-term to short-term. So you fall under two types of classifications. Long-term means anything that's held for longer than a year, and short-term means anything that is shorter than a year. And you get a lot of tax advantages from holding for at least a year because you fall into a different subset, and people have, you get a lot better discounts. Basically, percentages of taxes are not as high, and we'll cover them. So they are separated into two categories: short-term versus long-term, and the time segment there is 1 year. That is the cutoff between short versus long. So short-term ranges from anywhere from 10% to 37%, and the short-term is taxed. Any short-term asset is taxed at the typical rate as normal income will be taxed, and that varies from about 10 to 37%, and it depends on a number of things, whether you're married, if you're the head of household, or you're single. Let's assume most of us are single, and for me, for example, I would fall. Well, never mind. Let's not let's not share my salary to the world. But anyway, let's pretend you made $100,000. So and you're single, you would be taxed at a bracket of approximately 24%. So. And I see your question there, Jason Jarrett. We're going to get into this in just a moment regarding the new tax reform that was passed on January 1st by Donald Trump. So anyway, let's pretend you were investing $100,000. Can you remove the log on the right? Yeah, sure. I'll take the chat down for a second so you guys can get a better view. And I see you. I see the chat. So don't worry about the chat. I'm still watching. So. What was I going to say? So yeah, if you made $100,000 and you were single, you'd be taxed about 24% for any short-term capital gains in crypto, meaning anything that was transacted under a year's time. Anything that, whether it be 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 days, that's all under a year and falls under the short-term capital gains tax. And that ranges from 10 to 37% per the typical income tax requirements that are normally taxed on income. So that differs no matter depending upon how you are, whether you're single, whether you're married, whether you're gay, fat, or short. I'm just kidding. It doesn't matter how tall, how fat you are, if you're gay or not. Single, married, filing as head of household, the different different incomes. Please move yourself to the other side of the screen. Yeah, we can do that too, Rahul. I'll move myself temporarily, and then if I need to move again, I'll move. So. Anyway, there's your tax requirements depending on who you are. The maximum is 37%. So let's go on to long-term capital gains. So long-term capital gains ranges from anywhere from 0% to 23.8%, and that really differs on a number of things. Again, if you're filing as a couple, if you're filing separately, head of households, etc. And that falls under the typical long-term capital gains taxes as any other asset would. Using that same example, as a single man or woman that is making $100,000 a year, you would be taxed right here at 25%. I'm sorry, wait. Long-term capital gains tax, collectibles, and certain small business taxes, unrecaptured gains, ordinary income tax. Huh. I confused myself, I think, a little with this chart here. Other investments, 15%. I think you would fall under 15% here. I believe you fall under other investments, which would be 15%. And by the way, this tax document, or this PowerPoint, was based off of a tax document, and I probably got it right in there. The report is quite long. Well, it's not quite long, actually. It's only 4 or 5 pages. It's actually very concise, straight to the point, and very beneficial. All you have to do is click the link to download it. I tried to summarize it all in this PowerPoint for those of you that don't like to read, but you'll find this very beneficial. Go to that link, download it. You'll get an email with this report attached. So take a look. Let's talk about, after long term, what else is next. So capital losses. So you can deduct capital losses just like you can with property. So the IRS caps these capital loss deductions at $3,000 per year. And if you don't exhaust the $3,000, you can actually roll that over into the next year. You can roll that over. So say you've accrued a $5,000 loss this year, and you're only able to report 3,000 of it. You can roll the following 2,000 into the next year, and you can continue to do so until you've written off that entire tax deduction. This is commonly used to offset, gains and reduce your taxable income. So you may roll this over again into following subsequent years. You can only claim a loss of up to 3,000. Unfortunately, nothing more than that. I see some questions on KuCoin. Try a different email. For those of you that have had trouble, try emailing support. Someone says that it took them a number of times, but finally got registered. Had to click resend the confirmation email 3 times. Not sure. I didn't have any troubles. That's unfortunate. Not sure how to respond there. So try again. My referral links in the video description here if you want to use that. By any means, you don't have to. But I do like the KuCoin exchange. Actually, it's becoming one of my favorites alongside Binance. And we'll actually talk a little bit about those 2 exchanges kind of when we talk about taxes here. We're going to continue to read and answer your guys' questions. So that's the capital losses for anyone that has capital losses, meaning that you missed out on a trade. Say you bought Bitcoin at 1,000 and you sold it at 800. You've actually incurred capital losses. So will we be taxed on Binance as well for U.S. citizens? So I'll answer that sort of as we move on here. Typical government accounting, we get to tax all of our gains, but your losses are capped. Shaking my damn head. So, of course, what's new in the world? Everybody wants a piece of the pie. Everybody's trying to squeeze out as much money as they can. Wonderful. Great. So let's talk about in summation there. So in summation, on those couple of points I listed there, if you sell your crypto for a profit, these profits are taxed. If you sell your cryptos at a loss, you can deduct your losses up to 3,000. Spending your crypto is basically the equivalent to selling your crypto and is also a taxable event. So it doesn't matter. Like I said, all events here in cryptocurrency are taxed, even spending. So it's all viewed as property. So it doesn't matter if you're spending, if you're a merchant, if you're a customer, or if you're just holding as an investment. Basically, all of this is seen as an investment or property, and you are taxed on all these events. Now, a new law came into effect January 1st, 2018 per Donald Trump's recent tax reform law, stating that all cryptocurrency trades are basically a taxable event, which is different than how it's been done before. Recently, up until yesterday, all events were taxed on crypto to fiat, not from crypto to crypto. So now all trades, crypto to crypto, are reported as a taxable event. This doesn't matter if you trade Bitcoin from Coinbase to Bittrex, or Bittrex to Binance, or Bitcoin to Ethereum on Binance, or do it from KuCoin. It does not matter. You are required to report all of those trades. It doesn't matter if you go from Bitcoin to Bitcoin and you trade exchanges. It doesn't matter if you go from Ethereum to Bitcoin. It doesn't matter if you go from Ethereum to Utrust. It really doesn't matter. Every time you make a trade, that is a taxable event per the U.S. law. Now, that's really up to you. I think Coinbase this year has reported all people to the IRS that have made over $20,000 in income in crypto and withdrew $20,000 into fiat. Now, what that also means is that the other 20,000, the people that are under 20,000, were not reported. However, you are by law required to do that. You could be audited and you will be fined and possibly sent to jail if you do not report these trades as taxable. So what I suggest is that all exchanges export and have exporting features to export all of your trades in their exchange. So it doesn't matter. You cannot technically hide in Binance or hide in Bittrex. You may be able to quote unquote hide, as they may not report their events to the IRS. However, you are required, even if you are trading on Binance or Bittrex or KuCoin or wherever you may be, to report all those trades and export those trades to your tax attorney. Now, there's also a limited amount of software out there that really collects all that data in one spot for you. And if that's something that interests you, I actually have we're designing our portfolio tracker now and are strongly considering whether or not we want to really take upon a massive undertaking for ourselves to actually implement all the exchanges within the same platform. So you could see all of your trades from just our cryptocurrency portfolio, everything, whether you trade on Binance, whether you trade on KuCoin, whether you trade on Poloniex, whether you trade on Coinbase, and we could connect them all together. And it's something that we're actually deeply considering. So if that is something that is strongly interesting to you or needed, we'll definitely take that into consideration. It's something we're strongly considering at the moment. So someone asked on Twitter, does long-term make more sense? So long-term definitely makes more sense, as it's taxed at a lesser tax bracket. So it definitely benefits you to hold longer. Now, of course, it's up to you if you want to report all these things. You know, you only get fined if you're caught and you lie. So everything here is a taxable event. Like I said, whether it's Bitcoin to Bitcoin, from Coinbase to Bittrex, you name it, all of it is required to be reported. But you know, unfortunate. So do your due diligence. Please consult a tax accountant when, you know, reviewing this information this year. And please head over to our report to find more of this in detail. The link is cryptosomniac.com/taxes. You'll be given the tax report that we made. Let's move on to the next slide. So let's talk about mining and how that's affected when it comes to taxes. So even mining cryptocurrencies is recognized as income and taxed according to fair market value. Now, fair market value is basically the current rate that it's going for. So fair market value for Bitcoin today, when mined, currently the block's reward for mining a Bitcoin or solving a block is 12.5 Bitcoin, and the fair market value of that will be, you know, approximately 15,000. Now, fair market value in 5 years could be something totally different. It could be $100,000 or $500,000, and 5 years ago it would have looked like, you know, 500 or 50 or something along those lines. So it's taxed at fair market value, meaning the time that it was gained at. So whether it's gained today, 5 years from now, 5 hours from now, 5 years before this time, it will be taxed at that fair market value. That's the time that you basically acquire it, what someone else on the other side of the equation will be willing to give you had you been willing to sell that Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. This applies to both crypto as a whole as well as Bitcoin. This also applies to cloud mining. So you acquire Bitcoin or Monero or whatever you're mining at a certain value, and that is taxed at fair market value at the time of acquisition. Now, anyone need help, send me a message and 10 Litecoin, and I'll help you with not paying taxes. So we're going to actually ban that guy from our chat because I don't encourage anybody to do that. So we're going to remove that chat from the channel and hopefully ban that person because I don't like to see that kind of stuff. How do they know if you are on Binance? It's not a U.S. exchange, right? That is correct. So Binance is based out of Hong Kong. Now, that is where you get into sticky situations where you are required to basically report those findings yourself. You cannot, you shouldn't be, you know, hiding, quote unquote. If you want to stick to the rules and you have a lot of money, I don't suggest or encourage you to quote unquote hide. But as far as I understand it, Binance and KuCoin are both based out of Hong Kong, and they will not be reporting your findings to the IRS. So mining equipment can also be reduced or deducted rather as a business expense. So mining Bitcoin obviously can take a lot of, and not just Bitcoin, mining in general can be very costly when it comes to equipment. So basically you can deduct the cost of equipment. What if you are holding and not cashed out anything? So you don't have to report taxes. There's nothing to really report if you haven't made a trade from anywhere else. So if you just bought Bitcoin directly from fiat, there's nothing to report there. However, if you've done anything else with that Bitcoin, whether you cashed out to fiat, whether you traded it to another exchange, whether you traded it into Ethereum, whether you moved it offshore to who the hell knows where, that is reportable. You can also deduct fees. You can write off fees as well. What if you are just invested in hodling? Okay, so I answered that. Moving offline is also a taxable event. So moving on to donations. So there are really three ways that you can handle donations. There's three ways to donate to a charity. One is if the charity doesn't come out or doesn't accept Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, you have to cash out, and the cryptocurrency is taxed just as per normal. And then you can donate, and you can write off that donation as per normal, like you would when you would donate to a cryptocurrency donation, or not a cryptocurrency donation, just a charity or donation in general. And you would write that off per usual. So the actually cashing out from crypto to fiat, that is a taxable event. And then the donation to the charity would be written off as a separate event. So they'd be seen as two different events. The alternative, one of the alternatives, so there's three ways. You can also trade directly or donate directly via Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. Donors, however, can only write off the full value of that crypto if the crypto is held for over a year. If it's not been held over for a year, then it falls under the same rule that I mentioned earlier of short-term capital gains tax, unfortunately. So it would behoove you to, invest in crypto, hold it for 8 months, and then decide to donate that to charity. You are still going to be taxed per usual. Pay your taxes, people, when you're going to make millions anyways. I do agree. What if you sell your cryptos for goats or small animals, then open a petting zoo? These taxes are their taxes for exotic pets. I'm going to strongly consider you consult with a tax accountant. I do not have very much knowledge when it comes to exotic animals and organisms. Please consult your tax accountant for exotic animal purchases. I'm unable to consult for you there, buddy. Is the capital taxes on a trade a separate event from the taxes from converting to fiat? No, they are not. You are taxed twice in this situation. That is correct. However, you are only taxed on the value that you've acquired the crypto at. Appreciate you for clarifying these tax events. Very helpful. Of course. You're welcome. Moving on. So organizations, the third option for a charity is if the organization does not have the IRS's approval to collect tax-exempt donations. This actually gets into a very sticky area, and we actually explain exactly what you need to do under the donation section of this report. As to what you would do if they do not accept that. You can read more about that here, and you can get the link in the download to this document, the downloadable document, in the video description of this below. Just go to cryptosomniac.com/taxes, and you'll get access to that report there. What else? So moving on from donations, let's talk about gifts. And I should have corrected that from donations and gifts to just gifts. But there are a number of different things that gifts can fall under. So you're usually exempt from paying taxes on gifts so long as the total value does not exceed $15,000 per person per year. So that resets basically when you have a new, if you're gifting to a new person. So if you gift to Mary and then you decide to gift to Alice and you gift to Dave, you can gift him all $15,000 for $45K in 1 year span, and in most cases not be taxed on any of that. Now, there's a number of clarifications on this. So there's no limitations on gifts to spouses. There's no limitation as far as money. So you can gift your spouse and shower him or her with as much crypto as you so please without being hunkered down by the tax man, Uncle Sam. Political organizations and charities are exempt from this limit. So as per usual, political organizations benefit from the limitation on crypto donations. Hint, there actually are no limitations. What do you know? And lastly, anyone that receives medical expenses or tuition gifts is not limited by that $15,000 per year per person limitation. So there are a couple of clarifications to gifting. So that kind of covers it for gifting. Let's look at your questions. Purchasing precious metals with gains. What are the tax implications there? That is seen as basically purchasing goods, and you are taxed per usual, whether that is a short or a long-term tax event. Depends on how long you've held it for. So that is considered a taxable event. So what exactly are getting you taxed on when you go from crypto to crypto being a taxable event? You are not making any gains until perhaps the one you exchange to goes up. So that is actually a great question. I'm not exactly entirely sure on. I guess you get taxed at fair market value, what you are trading into at the time. So you traded, basically, this is how I understand it. So you bought Bitcoin at 1,000, and then say you trade it at 1,500 into Ethereum for an equivalent amount of Ethereum. Basically, you are subject to $500 tax gains there because you bought it at 1,000, you sold it at 1,500, and you converted it directly to Ethereum. So you should be taxed for that cryptocurrency event based upon the fair market value you've acquired it for previously. By the way, if you're satisfied with this video, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. In fact, smash that thumbs up button, hit that heart, hit that like, and share it with anyone that you found it helpful for. We're not entirely done yet, but please share it if you found it helpful. That's the best thing that you could do. So you could give your wife and a politician more than $15K without being taxed. Chad Green from Twitter asks. That is exactly correct. Yes, there is no limitation on gifting spouses. Shower your spouse with as much crypto as you can possibly give them. And, of course, shower all the politicians that don't really need our money because they could use it. What else? I'm an Aussie, and we will likely copy you, but the government's logic really bothers me. Okay, I could understand that. I mean, I totally agree. The government is not too sexy when it comes to all that kind of stuff. Tom Pack. The reversal of which is the method of trading crypto. Thanks, dude. I'll pass that on. Just search YouTube CryptoSonic or go to us. They're really good. If you're still here, I highly recommend this guy's YouTube video. Thanks, Tom. Thanks. What else? Yeah, if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell for when I go live. I do these videos a lot here and answer questions live on air. What else? Let's see. So what is the point of decentralization? It's to... that's a long-winded question. I'm going to save the answer for that one, but there's a ton of benefits to decentralization. Unfortunately, government tries to centralize a lot of decentralized things and get their hands on things, but that's just the way it is, right? If you don't withdraw any money, are you exempt from taxes? That depends. If you've made trades between crypto to crypto, those are taxed as well. So it really depends on what you've done with that crypto. I just covered the new law that went into effect January 1st that kind of addresses that, so you might want to rewind the video. We'll keep questions today related to taxes and maybe save some new questions till the end of the video. So do me a favor also, by the way, one lucky person that shared my video yesterday or Sunday on Top 10 Crypto's medium risk portfolio will get a chance to FaceTime me for 5 minutes. So please go ahead and share that. And you can share this video for a chance to win some free crypto tomorrow. Let's move on to losing your funds. So a loss of funds is actually also a deductible event. So if you die or in case of casualty or theft, you can claim a deduction on the loss of your funds per Section 165 of the Internal Revenue Code. You can read and learn more about that in the report that I've attached to this video. And what that is it basically, it's a little complicated. It has a lot to do with the adjusted gross income rules, but you can tax theft and losses. So if you lost, your ledger or your money was stolen, you can't tax or deduct negligence. So if you lost your ledger, that is not a deductible event. But if your ledger or funds were stolen and it was not a result of negligence, then that is actually a deductible tax event. And the limitations on it are very sticky. There's an equation which I suggest you consult this document right here. It covers it right here in this section. It really depends. There are limitations based on your adjusted gross income when it comes to taxing lost funds and stolen funds. So that's all covered in here. So definitely consider downloading this, and we will sum it up here in the TLDR. So just listen. A little bit long-winded here and a lot of text, but I'll just wrap it all up for you here. So beginning January 1st, 2018, per the new tax reform implemented from Donald Trump, our U.S. president, all cryptocurrency trades will be taxable events. It doesn't matter if you trade Bitcoin to Bitcoin from exchange to exchange. whether that means moving from Bitcoin to Ethereum, whether it means moving from Bitcoin to an altcoin, or even exchange to offline. Those are all seen as taxable events. Bitcoin is personal property, not a currency, and such is taxed as a capital asset, which falls under either short-term or long-term gains. Gains made from converting Bitcoins into a fiat currency are also subject to capital gains taxes. Purchase of goods or services with Bitcoins or cryptocurrency are also subject to capital gains tax. Capital gains tax rates differ from short-term to long-term, with 1 year being the time interval between short and long. The IRS limits tax deductions at $3,000 per person per year. Mined cryptocurrencies are recognized as income and taxed according to the fair market value at the exact moment that they were mined or acquired. Mining equipment investments can be deducted as legitimate business expenses. Bitcoin donations are taxed according to the circumstances as per the suggested circumstances in the tax document I've attached. Gifted Bitcoins inherit their holding period and cost basis, and there are a number of different ways that gifted Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, basically there's a number of rules that they fall under, 3 different circumstances. There is a $15,000 per year limitation per person on those. Any gift of property that realizes capital gains or losses is subject to taxes based on the cost basis at the exact moment it was bought or acquired. Stolen or lost funds may be deducted under Section 165 of the Internal Revenue Code. So that sums it up. That's the TLDR, the too long didn't read. And I hope that you guys found this video useful. And I strongly encourage you to download our attached document at cryptosomniac.com/taxes. I'll go to it right here. And it's attached in the video in the link. Check it out. You'll get this instant download with the entire report for your own reading, along with a subscription to our awesome newsletter. Now, I do want to say that there's a number of limited tools out there, such as Crypto Compare, such as coin tracking, which are kind of experimental, not extremely useful yet when it comes to taxing things. What I'm looking to do is make a platform that could actually track all of your investments and trades in one spot. And what I'd love to do is, if that's something that really interests you, please actually comment with your suggestions, because our portfolio tracker we're designing is basically, we want your guys' feedback on it. We want to have the features and things that you guys would want, and we're strongly considering whether or not we need to basically accept investors into our company and move this along pretty fastly, because it's a strong area of consideration for my business partner and I. So if that's something that interests you, we would love to hear your thoughts, your input, your voice on that subject area of concern, and really actually take that into consideration and the feedback and things that you're interested in. I think we're in a unique position of having a lot of followers on crypto, on our channel, social media and whatnot, to be able to leverage and understand what you guys want. So I would really appreciate that. Also, regarding the tax document here, here it is right here. It's a great document written by Henrique, one of our team members here, and I want to thank Henrique. You did a fantastic job on this. I think this was very in-depth and exactly what we were looking for, and answered a lot of my questions on taxes. What I want to ask of you guys, if there's anything that was not covered in this document, if you read this and you're still kind of unsure and you have any questions, please reach out, and what we'll do is we'll refine it and reform it and recontribute, readjust it, and redistribute it per the new findings that we find. But I think we covered just about everything that we needed to in the document. So if there's anything that you still are not sure about, take a look at it. So I'll try to answer some of your questions. Am I trading any of my strategies based on taxes? Not really. So I still have a lot of portions locked up for long term. I have a lot of portions dedicated to short term. I basically have 2 different portfolios. I have one dedicated to long and one dedicated to short. And my strategy hasn't really adjusted. I'll definitely be reporting all my trades per usual. When you enter the date of purchase, it actually searches for the price for the coin of that day. Yeah, great suggestion, I believe, there. Is it even worth it to make short-term trades with these tax laws? It's obviously very... You get down into the math. You know, you have to see what tax bracket you fall under. maybe you are taxed at 20%, let's say, and if you don't cover that in your trade, you know, if you don't pay off that 20% in the trade, then in your gains, then no, it will not be worth it. However, gains are the things that are taxed, not your income. So let's say you made $500. It's still worth it to trade, really no matter what, I guess. It doesn't really matter. You're trade a percentage of the gain. So you're always going to make money so long as your crypto trade made money. You know, if you only made $1, you're taxed a percentage, not a flat fee. You're taxed a percentage. So you could still, you still always make out, you know. So are we taxed double from crypto to crypto and then Bitcoin to fiat? Each event is considered a separate taxed event. You're not necessarily double taxed, but you're taxed on each event and the gains or losses that you made. So maybe one crypto to one crypto, you made a gain or a loss from the initial time of acquirement, and that is taxed as one event. Then when you go to cash out later to fiat, that's seen as a different event. So it depends on the value that you've initially acquired said asset and the time that you've went to sold said asset, and the difference between the two is a taxable amount. Whether that be a gain or a loss, that difference is taxed. So that really depends. So yes, you are taxed on both event there, but you're not quote unquote double taxed. You're taxed on the difference in gains and losses. Does this only apply after 1/1/2018? So only crypto to fiat was taxable up until yesterday, January 1st. January 1st and forward, all trades between cryptos are taxable events now. So that was only applicable up until yesterday. Or this new reform was only implemented yesterday. ICO taxes, please. So yes, you are basically, when you purchase an ICO, that is seen as a taxable event. You are basically seen as purchasing a new asset at a new value, and whatever fair market value that is given to you at the time, basically however much that's worth. Fair market value means however much money someone else on the other side of the equation will be willing to give you for that. So if you purchased an ICO at 10 cents and you went to sell it later at $1, you made 90-cent profit in that event. That 90 cent is taxable. So it really depends at what time you acquire it and what time you go to sell it. But yes, ICOs are seen as taxable events. I have 4 terabytes of trades online. They don't support that. I should print it. I wouldn't advise you print that either. That's very bad for planet Earth. We use a lot of, we use Excel and spreadsheets here. And what I actually would love to see is, would you guys like to see a portfolio tracker which tracks all this in one spot? It's something that my co-founder and I are strongly considering acting on very quickly. Someone asks, tax question, I traded Bitcoin for Litecoin and Litecoin was at a loss end of the year. What to it do? So basically the time that you've acquired that Bitcoin was, let's just say it was $1,000. I don't know when you acquired it. And then you went to convert it into Litecoin and you realized some amount of profit there. You might have realized a loss or you might have realized the gain. And depending upon, if that was plus or minus, it depends on whether that's a deduction or a taxed event. So that's kind of how that is seen. So please comment on the video afterwards. I'd love to know if that's something that you are in favor of, what kind of things in it that you'd be looking for specifically. And I'll definitely take all these into consideration. And our portfolio tracker is already underway. Unfortunately, it does not track all trades from exchange to exchange. It is a manual entering process. So if that is something that you're interested in, we'll definitely get started on that ASAP. Like we're literally thinking about starting this. Well, we've already begun the process, but we haven't linked exchanges. So we'll have to strongly consider that as a business decision, especially as it would take a lot of manpower and a lot of money that I really don't have, and I'd have to open up to investors. Thanks for all the subscriptions. If you found this helpful, we appreciate it. We give a lot of free content out. We give a lot of free guides out. Subscribe to our newsletter, cryptosomniac.com. Go to cryptosomniac.com/taxes, and support the channel that way. That, that's all we ask. Share the video if you think it was helpful. That's all you have to do. That's good enough for me. Share the love. I've been doing this for several years now, and I really feel like a lot of YouTubers focus on different things, and I'm an engineer, so I feel like I have a strong background and understand how a lot of it works, and provide value that way. I don't create always the flashiest titles or top cryptos under 10 cents to buy ASAP today that will make you rich in a million years, but I try to provide content and value that I would like and would want to see myself. A lot of people make flashy videos like buy this coin under 10 cents, it's going to make you rich, but so be it. They'll probably have more subscribers than me, but what are you going to do? If I buy on Coinbase $100 of BTC and then I convert it to $100 of Litecoin, I didn't make any profit. Actually, I lost a little bit because of fees, so effectively it isn't a taxable event. So if the number basically comes out to exactly zero, even say you lost a little bit, you can actually deduct the fee. Or if with the fee you actually came out to literally zero, that is you aren't taxed anything, but that's still a taxable event that you need to report. The government needs to know that you actually made that trade, so you're still required to report that. But in that scenario, you would not actually be taxed anything. It would actually be 0%. And by the way, guys, don't take all of my advice on this. I did a lot of research. Our team did a lot of research into this, but neither of us are CPAs. In fact, I'll be consulting with my CPA in about a week. I have an appointment with him 1 week from today. And if there's any questions that were left unanswered, please leave them in the comments below, and maybe I'll be able to answer some of those questions better when I meet with my CPA next week. So please leave all your questions. And if there's any questions unrelated to taxes at the moment, I'll be happy to answer them for some time right now on the channel. Do me a favor, share my video on Facebook.com/CryptoSomniac, my top 10 video medium risk portfolio. We'll be working on the high risk portfolio pretty soon, and what we'll do is we'll give one lucky winner 5 minutes of FaceTime with me. So the video is right here. No, that's not it. The video is somewhere. The top 10 video is it's one thing here. We share a lot of great content and stuff here, so it's somewhere. We post a lot. The video was made on Sunday. Here it is right here. 36 shares, 36 opportunities. We'll refresh the page. 5 minutes of FaceTime with me, one lucky winner. You get whatever you want. You pick my brain, ask me what what I think of the space, whatever you want. And yeah, share this video, in fact, for a chance. Retweet it, share it, like it, heart it for a chance to win some free crypto tomorrow. In fact, if you're new to the channel, you'll find that I give free cryptocurrency away every single day, and that looks like that'll be a taxable event next year. So maybe I can well, I will be able to write it off actually as a gift. So I'll be gifting a lot of money to each person each year. I won't be gifting over 15,000. Apparently that's the limit, but you never know. Maybe when I hit 100,000, I'll gift 15,000 to some lucky subscriber. The questions are not refreshing. Let's turn the questions back on so everyone can see them, regardless of which platform they're coming in at. So here we are. When buying one crypto with another, is there an easy way to know the value, and which quote would we use? So you'll use the quote on whatever exchange you're using, the fair market value that it would be going for on that exchange. That's the quote or price that you would be taxed on. The FMV, fair market value, per that exchange. And fair market value is basically the value that someone else on the other side of the equation would be willing to dish out for that same asset. Taxes on gains are not applicable to trades prior to January 1st. If all of my assets were acquired prior to Jan 1st, I only have to worry about taxes when I cash out into fiat. Andrew Carter, that is correct. So if you have not cashed anything out, if you have not made any, trades between crypto last year are not taxable. However, if you cashed anything into fiat out last year, that of course is taxable. Now, any trades that you've made from yesterday forward, those are taxable events. How are we supposed to actually report them? Is there some form, and how do you do it if you literally make hundreds of trades? So basically, each exchange has an option to export all trades, and that's how you'll do it. And you'll give that information over to your tax accountant, and you'll let him go to town. Now, what I'm going to try to do based on suggestions of the community, is actually design a portfolio tracker that does all this for you. Takes all your exchanges into consideration, CoinMama, Coinbase, Poloniex, Bittrex, you name it, and documents all that. So I have 2 nationalities. Can I use a bank account from my native country and avoid the taxes? That's an interesting, interesting scenario. I guess it really depends on where you cash in and out from, and into what currency, I suppose, and into what bank account. If you're cashing out into a U.S. bank account, or are you cashing out to a Germany bank account, I think will probably determine which tax laws you need to listen to. But that one is a little bit tricky. As I said, I'm not a CPA, so don't take my word on it in that regard. Is it taxable if I withdraw Bitcoin from Hashflare to the Exodus wallet? I do believe so. I do believe that is also a taxable event. Any money made is taxed in both countries. Thank you for that comment. Let's take a look at the charts for a moment. Let's just break free from all the tax talk, and let's look at everything that is so green today and delicious. We have Request Network tanking, QuantStam tanking, Siacoin tanking. But on the flip side, we have XBY. We have KuCoin. Wow, KuCoin's slamming it. Guys, I told you, I called KuCoin back at like $2, $3, something like that. My referral link's in the description of this portfolio below. I told you I could easily have seen this one shoot up to $10. I don't think I still think we could head to $10, given where BNB is at. So check that out. I think we got some room to grow. Tron is up a ton, doing pretty well. Cardano keeps killing it. Opinion on the Bitcoin rally. Let's take a look at the charts to give my fair assessment. Let's pull up Coinigy. And do me a favor, guys, hit that thumbs up button, hit that likes button, hit that heart button, hit that wherever you are, wherever you be, hit that button. And what we'll do is we'll open up the charts, and we'll open BTC USD, and we will do it on let's use Bittrex. And let's start with daily, and we are right here. So okay, so we had this nice little run up, and that's a good sign right there on the daily. The MACD is crossing. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. And let's just do a quick fib retracement, because I'm pretty sure we got right into where I said we would. Look at how spot on that is. I tell you guys all the time that I like to buy in the blue sweet region, and look exactly where we bounced off of. We bounced directly off 11,000. I made a video right around here that said, how do we spot the bottom? How do we know? And this is where I made the video, sometime at this date right here. And I said the bottom is around 11,000 based upon Fibonacci retracements. And we literally hit 11,000. If you had an order in there, you made money already, because we're already picking back up, and the MACD is looking great on the daily. Let's take a look, zoomed more in. Let's take a look further in. So if we look at it on the 4 hour, 4 hours also looking good. The MACD is moving up. RSI isn't really in oversold territory yet. And let's move to the 2 hour. MACD looks pretty good. RSI is moving up. MACD also looks like it's trending upwards on the 2 hours. So that's a good sign. On the 1 hour, we're crossing. Oh, no, it looks like we're crossing, and then we're shooting back up. So that is also a good sign. RSI a little high on the hourly. On the 30-minute, we are also looking very good. Everything for Bitcoin is looking really good right now. And if we're talking about the long term, like where we really think Bitcoin could be going as far as in the next several weeks and days ahead, this looks really good. The RSI is still right in the middle, pretty neutral. So it's not saying it's overbought. It's not oversold. It's kind of right where it needs to be. And the MACD is saying that we're heading up, which is a good sign. I'm a big fan of market structure, and you can see we've looked like we were formed a little W right here on the daily. It's almost a perfect W, and W is a sign of upward movement to come. So if I were to go into the 2 hour and look at MACD, you can see a bunch of M's and W's. Here's a W here, and price went up after that. You can see M right here, price going down after that. So M's are basically down, and W's are basically up. And whoa, thanks, Kataz111. This is my investment in my portfolio tax tracker. Awesome, thanks. I really appreciate that, man. I hope you make it. I would like it. Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. What I'd love for you to do is be an early adopter of our portfolio tracker, set to come out in just a couple of days, and tell us what you think. And then I think we're going to get cracking. Snae's back in a couple days. I forget if I think it's the 4th. I think he's got 2 more days left. And what we'll do is we're gonna have to sit down and find someone to invest in us, because I think that will be a little bit more money than we have at our disposal. That $10 just got taxed. Anyway, so here's the M's and W's. I'm a big fan of them, and you can see you can kind of play the markets with the M's and W's. So on the daily, Bitcoin's looking really good, and this could be the beginning. We've seen Bitcoin. Let me show you a chart that I like to look at sometimes. Is the BTC dominance, and the last time that we were down this low was about 2-3 months ago, and what happened is we bounced back really aggressively. And I'm not saying that this could happen again, but I'm just using history as a means of showing you what is at least likely. The most likely thing is that we repeat. And last time we were down at 39% was back in June, and then we took off. We took off like a rocket to the moon, and we're down this low again. And it'll be very interesting to see where we go next. Does altcoins kind of bleed with the resurgence of Bitcoin? I know that there's a lot of people that are during this season, and a lot of guys that there's a lot of guys out on Wall Street. There's a lot of guys, there's firms, institutions, a lot of things that don't have the funds in place to move super quickly, and they are using this opportunity to gear up, get their funds ready. I'm sure suppressing the price of Bitcoin via futures markets and trying to stack up. And I think by February or so, that'll really start to happen. I think we kind of lull around, to be honest, for a little bit longer, but I think we start the aggressive upward trend pretty soon. I'm calling 100 to 150K for Bitcoin at the end of the year. So I think this could be the beginning of it. I think we kind of lull around here at 15K, 13K, 14K. But as a lot of people saw the legitimacy, I think, of crypto in recent months, not everyone has the ability, at least the big money doesn't have the ability to act and turn on a switch like that. Things that are higher up like that take time, and I think that is going to start to happen February, March, April. That's going to start to come into play. You're going to start to see a lot of money, and it's only a matter of time now until we hit that $1 trillion market cap. We are aggressively approaching 700 billion. Sorry, can't get my numbers straight. And it seems like it's only a matter of time for now. So keep an eye out for that one. The next question. Tron is also looking like a great time to take profit, guys. Great time. If you got in at any of my calls, you've made a lot of money. And it's looking like it's... Wow, it's just shooting back up. That's wicked. On the daily, is this Binance? 486 Satoshis. Is that right? Is that right? No way. We were at like 600 earlier. Let's go into the hourly. Wow, we were really high earlier. But yeah, it looks like it might be a good time to take profit right now. Right now. The M is forming right there. The MACD is crossing. RSI is still a bit high. And let's look at the 4 hour. Same thing there. 487. It's looking like a good time to perhaps cash out. And while I'm at it, let me give you a value to get back in. We're going to use the fib retracement, go from there to there. And the blue region has been touched already. Sweet, sweet mother of Moses. 400 Satoshis is going to be my new re-entry level if you're looking to get into Tron. 400 Satoshis. 487 right now. I bought REC at 0.28 a few days ago. It's at 0.8. Wow, that's amazing. That's already like a 300% return. What is REC? It's basically a payment platform that I'm a huge fan of, and looking forward to its success long term. They have a world-class line of partnerships. It's got Civic. It's part of Y Combinator. It's part of Kyber, Aragon, 0x, QuantStamp. Some of the best partnerships that I've seen in the space. Huge fan of it. Huge fan of Request. One of our most recent calls, actually. But let's take a look at the chart because I think it's dumping because it's not a good time. This would have been a great time to take profit. Here it is right here. In fact, it might be a little late to take profit, but the MACD's crossing. There might be some wiggle room. But none of it looks good right now at the moment. So if you're looking to get in, actually, eye it up, and I'll give you my levels right here. Let me give some more levels here for people interested. We are going to give a couple actually. So let's give you two. I'm going to give you two levels here. We'll put in two, and I'll make it very clear. We're going to put one right here, and we're going to put one right here. The lower one is going to be for those that are more conservative. Here's the riskier move. We're going to put this one at 4,500 sats. So this is my entry for REC, 4,500 Satoshis. That is my more aggressive level. The more conservative level is going to be 3,900 sats. This is the level I would shoot for. I'm usually not much of a risk taker, at least not as much of a risk taker. So I'm going to shoot for 39. But if you are not in it and you want to get in it, either of these two entry levels are pretty good. Electroneum, I'm a better fan, or a bigger fan, honestly, of GameFlip than Electroneum. I think they have better partnerships and advisors, people from EA Sports and whatnot. So I take a look at GameFlip if you're new. I think they actually have more potential as they're a little bit of a newer project. Take a look at that. I'm a bigger fan of GameFlip than I am of Electroneum. How about Aeon? Let's take a look at Aeon's chart. I actually think it's a good hedge if you are into third-gen cryptos and looking to diversify among them. Aeon is going to be one of them that you're going to want in your portfolio. Let's take a look at the daily, and we've seen a lot of fluctuation, and we've been trending along this sort of line right here. So it's a rather new cryptocurrency, and this is kind of the baseline I'm going to use. So if you're using this as kind of your metric, this is where I'm going to suggest you get in at. Somewhere closer to this baseline. We are quite high today. Never chase green. Never chase green is kind of the golden rule here. Never chase the green, guys. Never chase anything that's exploded and parabolic like that. So definitely don't get in today. There's just way too much downside potential as opposed to upside potential when you chase something that is explosive like that. I can't recommend it enough. That's kind of one of my golden rules of trading crypto, is to just stay out of anything like that looks like this. It's a good project, though, I think, to hedge your bets if you're interested in Radon and Cardano and these cross-chain cryptos and interoperability. Then Aeon is kind of is a solution to that. So entry levels for Icon and QuantStamp. I see both of those questions. So let's use QSP first. We'll give you some entry levels for QuantStamp. And wow, that's pretty run up, and there's not a lot of data to go off of, but the RSI is awfully high, so I definitely don't think it's the best time to get into QSP at the moment. 2 hours headed downwards. The 4 hour also headed down. If you didn't cash out already, you know, don't worry about it right now. I think KuCoin. I told you guys KuCoin was good. Let's take a look at KuCoin for a moment. I actually do not believe that they have that available on the charts yet. And let's not share my email. Let's take a look at. I think on KuCoin's exchange actually they have charts and better metrics. Let's see if I can get into my the markets here. Let's take a look at KuCoin's chart here for the moment, and maybe that'll tell us some more data. So that is quite high. Let's add a couple of indicators. The RSI. Let's add the MACD. The MACD. And I told you guys KuCoin was definitely a nice exchange. I really do like it. I think it's really nice. I really am a big fan of it. They have a lot of coins that just other exchanges aren't getting now. I hate that the time intervals are only 8 hours, and then all of a sudden it's 1 hour. I don't know. It's new, so you live with what you got, I guess. If you made money on my KuCoin call, you might want to take some profit because it's quite high, and it looks like it could be retracing, coming back to Earth to KuCoin. Hello, Earth to KuCoin, please come in. Earth to KuCoin. It is traveling along this line here. Now, how do I draw a line? Is it gonna let me draw one? This looks like a simplified version kind of TradingView and Coinigy. Here we go. Here's the line. So we've been traveling this. So look obviously to buy closer to this trend line, and also be very wary of it breaking below that trend line and breaking down. Quite new and volatile. That's to be expected of any new crypto. But I said this easily could reach $10, just like Binance. Very, very easily. I thought it could. So, yeah. Let's take a look at ICX. ICX. Thanks for subscribers. Thanks for all your subscribers, guys. And let's take a look at ICX, and then we'll give away some free crypto. Start with the daily. Wow, that's pretty high. There's not a lot of data yet either for ICX since it's very new. In fact, there's really zero data. Is ICX on KuCoin? Let's see if they have it. ICX. No, they don't have it yet, unfortunately. Let's see if the Binance platform gives us a little bit more data itself, because Coinigy actually doesn't look like it's been tracking it very long shit. So that's great. I have to log in. Can I look at the markets without logging in? Let's take a look at what are we looking at? We're looking at Icon, ICX. And we'll have to go to the advanced to pull up the data that I want to pull up. So there's a little bit more here. So if we take this out to the 4 hour or even the daily, let's start with the daily. The daily is looking like the MACD is about to come back down. That's kind of as expected. Let's throw on another indicator, the RSI. Where is the RSI? Is that the RSI? This tool looks like shit. Indicator, RSI. Is that the RSI? I don't know what. I guess that is the RSI. A 14-day period. It looks like shit. Why is it so like zoomed in? I can't even read. Let's try the 4 hour. The RSI. It's really tricky to chart a lot of this stuff that doesn't have any data. It looks like we're traveling along this trend line right here. Why is ICO such a good ICO? Airbnb is doing fine without the blockchain. Airbnb is already doing great. I think it's great because there's zero fees, which is great. You know, I like zero fees. You know, you don't have to pay any fees if you pay for Airbnb. Airbnb takes a pretty chunk. You ever try to go on Airbnb and pay for stuff? I use Airbnb often. You book someone's house. Let's take a look. I'll try to, I'll just pick a random house. Anywhere. We'll say Los Angeles. We'll book it for blah blah blah. 1 adult, 0 children. Search. Yeah, I agree. Sure. And we'll pick this charming private guest house for $137 a night. And what we'll do is 127 for 3 nights with service fees and occupancy taxes. You get charged an extra $110, it looks like, in some kind of fees. Now the cleaning fee obviously isn't going to be wiped out from Airbnb, from B, but the service fee will be knocked out, and the occupancy taxes, looks like that won't be knocked out. So the service fee of $53, so $53 is divided by 520. You're paying about 10% in fees, where with B you don't have to pay any of those fees. So that's kind of the advantage with B, and you're decentralizing home sharing on the blockchain, and you can remove all fees and middlemen. So the host also gets charged an additional fee. Makes sense. So and B's team is stellar, one of the best I've ever seen. Facebook, Uber, Google, Facebook, Civic. I think I repeated myself once or twice. So B token removes all that. So what I would love for you guys to do is check out the website, cryptosomniac.com. If you're new, subscribe to my newsletter and you'll get that tax document that I was just talking about. And what I'd love for you to do is share this video with anyone helpful. What we're going to do is now give away that free FaceTime 5 minutes. So one lucky person is going to get some free FaceTime with me, and I'll refresh the page for any recent people that shared that video for a chance to win some free crypto. All you have to do is share this video tomorrow or whenever for a chance to win some free crypto currency. And where is the video? The video was the top 10 video. We got approximately 36 reshares, but it only shows me a portion of the people due to privacy settings for whatever reason. So let's count them all by hand real fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we got 16 people to share, and we'll pick a number between 1 and 16. So lucky number 12 is our winner. So who is that? 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. So Next Gen Capital. Hopefully that's not a business. But you won yourself 5 minutes of free FaceTime with me. We'll get this snipped out. We'll reach out to you, and whenever you're available, we'll work it out. So 5 minutes of free FaceTime with me. For the rest of you folks, we'll be giving away some free Tron tomorrow for one lucky person that shares or retweets this on Twitter. So feel free to do so. Everyone that keeps asking about the Cryptosomniac Advantage should be available shortly. Signups, we're hoping, will be available by the end of the week. I get a lot of emails and concerns. If you are interested, just subscribe to our newsletter. You'll get an update as to when exactly, and you'll be getting all that information just in a couple of days. So share this video with anyone you found helpful. Heart it, like it, thumb it up. Don't thumb it up, thumb it down, hate it, destroy it, whatever you want. Comment with your feedback if you want to see certain things. We'll get on and get right to it. So cheers, guys. Happy holidays, happy new year. Keep rocking, keep cryptoing, and hopefully the gains are as good this year as they were last year. So peace, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow.